There's a wide perception about people being paid to pick out used sanitary pads from the dustbins. Now we asked some ladies how they dispose of their used sanitary towels and if they do believe in this perception.
When I'm done, I just wrap it in a tissue paper, and then after that I put it in a black polythene bag. In as much as I'm afraid because of hearsay, like there are mates around it, you watch movies and sometimes you see people and some guys being paid to get Sakawa men some used sanitary pads and all that. I have no other alternative because that's the only way I can dispose it of.
Growing up as a teenager, when I started menstruating for the first time, I lived with my grandmom in Cape Coast, and then she was the one who I was staying with at that time. And she gave me a pack of handkerchiefs when I started menstruating for the first time. Told me that because where we used to live was a compound house, I'm not supposed to, she didn't get me a pad because she doesn't want me to dispose of my pad in a dustbin, and then she was skeptical about those who come for it and all that. Growing up as a full-grown adult, when I started, especially when I started to live on my own, I started using pads, but then I still, that's, how do you call it? I don't know what to call it though, but it still lived in my mind. I always felt like anytime I use a pad, I'm not supposed to put it in a dustbin, so I burn it. I mentioned the name of the area, but we used to keep our waste outside. And there's this woman who always comes around and acts like she's picking. So you don't know, there are people who come to pick plastic bottles, but she doesn't pick plastic bottles, and you always wonder what she's picking. There was this day I was going to work, and I decided that, okay, today, dear, I want to find out what exactly she's doing. I stood there for like close to 5 minutes, and then she couldn't pick one thing. And I'm sure, and I felt that maybe because I was standing there, she couldn't do what she wanted to do. She was waiting for me to go so that she can pick it. People go around to pick, even public spaces where people use the washrooms and stuff. They go there and then they pick such things. I hear that even hospitals, they pay them and then they actually take those things. There are people who work as cleaners there, and then they pay them for those things. They give it to those people. So you have to be very careful if you're a lady, because it has even blood. Biblically, it's like the highest form of sacrifice.
For me, I burn my own. I just don't feel comfortable giving it to the Zoom line people. I feel it's something that's sacred and part of me, and I don't want any other person to see it. I went to a girls' school, and there were times that some of the guys from the area jumped into our premises just for such things. There were times they were arrested. There were times that we didn't find them and they could go away with it. So for the myth, I strongly believe that people actually come for that for their own reasons.
So I usually would put it in a black polythene and put it in the dustbin. But for some time now I've been burning it because of the myth and true
believe in the myth.
Is a persuasion from my mother. She is saying that she heard that the fraud boys, they use it for rituals, so they go into the dustbin and pick it. So she advises I burn it. So, but prior to that, I don't believe in those things. Yeah.
So personally, I usually bury it. You know, sometimes you find these animals like dogs, cats, and all over. They just come and be scattering, because I've seen them before. Even when you put them in the dustbin or something, they still go inside, bring it out. The next morning, you see them like scattered all over. So I prefer to bury them instead. After all, I mean, by the time you even try to go and dig that same place, maybe the blood would have dried out or something. So I think personally, the burying is okay, because sometimes too, and just like you said about the myth, I know it's very possible, it has happened before. Like in movies, sometimes you see people like moving around and talking about it. So I feel that
the usual way is by wrapping it inside a black poly bag and putting it inside the dustbin. For some, they burn it. Others also bury it. Now, how do you dispose your used sanitary towel? Do you also believe in the many myths surrounding it? Let us know in the comment section. The name is Abigail Johnson Boache, reporting for GhanaWeb.